And welcome back to the Spotlight Games podcast for episode 193. Only 7 more episodes after tonight, Cayman. I think that's how math works.
Whew.
It's for episode
We
200.
still don't even know what we're doing.
We have no idea. We haven't planned anything. Spoilers, we are not doing the top 200 games of all time as decided by the Spotlight Games audience. Although, technically, not too late. I'm your host, Patrick. And of course, sitting across from me for the Spotlight Games podcast, my sweet dumpster boy, Cayman Darty. Cayman, how are you today?
Oh, Patrick. Normally I bring funny stories, funny anecdotes from my life. Sometimes I bring those for this portion of the podcast. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
None today.
None.
Just nothing but depression.
Yeah.
The world's on fire.
Yeah.
Everything's dying.
Yeah.
There's probably a joke somewhere in there. I'm just too upset to find it.
It's true. It's so true. But, you know, good news. I have a new background, and we're talking about speculums and reculums in the chat. So,
you know what we're not talking about, Patrick?
What?
The Russell Crowe road rage film from the year 2000 and I believe 22 called Unhinged.
We're not talking about that at all.
We should be.
I think we probably should be.
Dedicate ourselves. Spotlight Games is now the Russell Crowe road rage film from the potentially in the 2000s at some point.
You know,
called Unhinged. It's a very long title of the podcast. But
I don't know the year, but there is a year in which everything Russell Crowe has done since then has been shit. And I don't know exactly what that year is, but it exists.
It was when Fat Russell Crowe came out.
Well, you're probably
This is the first introduction of Fat Crowe. Was this movie Unhinged?
Not Fat Crowe.
Yeah. Have you not seen what Fat Crowe looks like?
Oh, I have. Yeah. Did you know he has a band? Yeah. I was, gosh, when was this? It's 2026 now. This probably would have been 24. I was visiting New York City, and I did just like a cheeky little Google. Concerts happening in New York City, dates X through Y. And it was really bad. Like there was like 3 options, and one of them, and I can't remember the name of them now, but Russell Crowe has like basically a cover band, but they do have some original hits, and their main original song that is like featured on their Spotify is so fucking bad. But they were playing like at the Garden or something. Like they were playing at a really big venue, and I'm like, this is crazy. That you're playing here.
Oh no. The band is called, are you ready for this? Indoor Garden Party.
Okay, so it probably wasn't the Garden. I think I just got the word garden from Indoor Garden Party. Oof.
They also perform under the name The Gentleman Barbers. I fucking hate both of those names.
Oh, what is it? Indoor Garden Party?
Indoor Garden Party. Part of me feels like it feels a little bit like a Midwest emo band name.
Sure.
But also no. Also just worse.
Sure. At Sony Hall. They were at Sony Hall in New York City in 2025. I wasn't in New York in August of 2025. Doesn't matter.
You never know. Maybe.
I could have been. Who knows what happened last year at this point. Well, Cayman, we do have video games to talk about because this is the Spotlight Games podcast where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight GameSpot or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. You can be on the show by tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on twitch.tv/Spotlight GameSpot, just like Cognitive Clips, Coal Mines, High Score Weekly, Cirrus Shard, Jake Twitchin, Jungleto Mongu, and of course, Blaster Goblin. Be like them. Follow us so that you're notified when we go live so you can be part of the conversation. And speaking of Blaster Goblin, some very quick housekeeping. Tomorrow night, right here on the channel, in about 24 hours-ish, him and I are going to start a Resident Evil 6 co-op campaign. We're going to try to finish it in 2 streams, 2 Wednesdays before Resident Evil Requiem. But I think we're going to get a pulse check at how tomorrow night goes to see, do we need to squeak in a 3rd one? But very excited because that is the first installment of Blaster Goblin Week here at Drop In Drop Out, because Thursday night on twitch.tv/Drop In Drop Out Pod, the homie Blaster Goblin coming back for a Resident Evil retrospective. Requiem comes out end of this month, so we're going to talk about all of the Resident Evil games. Probably. Maybe we don't talk about like no, I think actually the whole point of a retrospective, we have to talk about every single Resident Evil game. That includes every light gun game, all the mobile
You're not
games.
going to talk about those.
Uh, if I know Blaster Goblin, we're going to be talking about the light gun games. He's already talked
Resident
about him in
Evil
the chat.
Survivor 1 and 2.
How about Umbrella
You didn't even know
Chronicles?
the fucking names.
He said I'm spending an hour on Operation Raccoon City. That's exactly right.
Good. Good.
But let's see. Blaster Goblin also, speaking of in the chat, says, "Hold up, why did you cover up your door with a banner and bed, Patrick? It's going to be really hard to get out of that door now." Very good point. I guess you're going to have to wait and see until I try to walk out that door what happens. But yeah, so be here tomorrow night. Be it drop in, drop out on Thursday nights for Blaster Goblin Week. All sorts of Resident Evil shenanigans. And then also, last thing is over on Drop in, Drop Out's YouTube and Drop in, Drop Out VOD with a V. We've been rolling out our VODs for the in-person anniversary from a few weeks ago. We just put up the Tindy tour on the VOD channel, and we put up
Hell
Pokemon
yeah.
Pictionary on the main channel. So subscribe to both. In fact, go to dropindropoutpod.com, which, by the way, someone in Drop in, Drop Out, write this down. We don't link to Drop in, Drop Out VOD anywhere on our website. We should do that. Let's put that on the list. I just thought of that. But Cayman, enough housekeeping, enough rambling, enough not talking about what we've been playing, because of course that is how we start our episodes here at Spotlight Games Podcast. So Cayman, I kick to you. What have you been playing, my dear friend?
Patrick, I'm going to stop right there. I have only one game to bring up tonight.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to jump?
I do.
You want me to go first? Okay.
I'll go first. Yeah. Well, let's do a little.
You want to go first?
Let's do a little boomerang situation. So I'll do a couple. You can do one,
Boomerang.
and then I'll do a couple because I have like 4 games to talk about. A couple of them very short. But I want to start with Mugenics. This is the game that you so evilly took right from under my feet during the Fantasy Critic draft. I was so confident. I was like, I don't think that people are going to go for Mugenics, but there was a voice in my head that's like, if someone's going to do it, it's fucking Cayman. And he did. Scored very well. It has like an 89 or 90 on Open Critic right now. It's from the creator of The Binding of Isaac. And this game, tell you what, Cayman, this is a fucking weird ass fucking game, and I'm having a great time. So the premise, it is a roguelite in which you are raising and adventuring with cats, and when cats are bred within other cats that you have in your like house that you are given, they'll have certain like, think Rogue Legacy, where they'll have like certain perks or certain attributes that are attributed to them, because that's what attributes are. They're attributed to you. And you go through these like strategic battles, like strategy RPG battles, think like Final Fantasy Tactics, with these cats. They have all sorts of different powers and things, and you're just essentially trying to reach the end of the roguelite. Like you start, there's like one biome, and then you finish it, you unlock another one. I don't know how many biomes there are. I've only gotten to 2 so far, but this game is like shockingly deep. Like, at first it just seems like, oh, a simple roguelite. The cats have abilities, ha ha ha. They have silly names. The art is crazy and the dialogue is weird as shit. But then you start to unlock more things, and it's like, oh, there's like a system for this, and the cats that retire if you win the run, like you can send them to this other place to unlock other things like passively. And it's just like, I'm surprised how in only like 2 hours I'm already so impressed with how deep this game is. Also there's
you
fucking,
still have like
as you can
100
see,
to 200 more hours left before you've seen like a quarter of apparently what you can get in this game.
So I am like, very, very low sample size right now, but certainly at the moment, my game of the year, I highly doubt it's going to stay my game of the year, but I am really having fun with Mugenics, and it's the first game I think so far this year that I started playing and was like, ooh, I kind of can't put this down. And I go to dinner that I talked about in the pre-show, and I'm like, I kind of want to just be playing Mugenics. And so I'm excited to kind of dig in more and see, does this stick, or am I just like in the honeymoon phase with Mugenics? And this time next week, I won't even be playing it anymore. I don't know. I'm interested to see.
It's fair. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, especially since I drafted it.
Yeah.
I drafted it, Patrick.
You sure
And
did.
so
I'm so pissed.
it started me off the year with some good points. What else have you been playing, buddy?
So I've been dabbling. Also, Colemine says I hate the art style in this so much, but I don't doubt it's good with who's made it. Fair. It is not a pretty game, but I do like the art style more than Binding of Isaac, even though it is similar in ways. But I've also been playing a fair amount of Mario Tennis Fever.
Yeah,
Came out on the Switch last week. I've been having a very good time with it.
good.
But unfortunately, it
Oh
has
no.
fallen into the trap that all of the new Mario sports games have done so far, at least in my experience, where I have a few fun days with it. I
And then you're
unlock
just
all the
done.
characters, I unlock all the maps, and I just don't foresee picking this up unless I just all of a sudden want to play tennis. Like,
Right.
I thought that maybe this was going to have more staying power, and I
Mm.
bet it would if I was playing with a group of friends actively, like if we had like, oh, it's Tuesday night, let's play some Mario Tennis. But I don't have that. And so I fear that it's just going to eventually slowly become in my fourth row of Switch games because I just keep playing other things and it just keeps bumping it down. But despite that, it is a very fun video game. I think it's really well made. I think the Fever rackets, which if you don't know, the kind of the change of this game, at least to my understanding, is there's like 30 different rackets that all have like a superpower essentially. So like you might your ball becomes a bullet bill or the
Mm.
like the flame balls that are all over the Mario games. You can like shoot out a line of those. Like those kinds of Mario isms as tennis rackets. And it's a lot of fun. A ton of characters, ton of places to play, some fun game modes. But it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just I already see the lack of legs this game has for me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad I played it,
It's
but
disappointing,
yeah.
but you're not wrong. I feel like the Mario sports games, especially recently, I feel like have fallen into this realm of like I'll get a good week or two out of it,
Yeah,
and then that is shelved for when people come over.
exactly.
And then at that point, it's like, this is really all they're good for. It's kind of a tough buy-in for me.
For 70
Um,
bucks. It's like,
right. Of being like, but then again, like, I mean, the sports titles do drop in price a little bit more or faster than
yeah,
the mainline games. So like there's at least that, but like Nintendo games never go on sale.
right.
Um so it's so tough to be able to be like when at what point in my life am I going to feel comfortable with just shelling out 70 bucks for something? Like I say that as someone who's like, yeah, going out for dinner and is fucking 70 bucks now. So it's
Sure.
is it really a big deal? But you know, how often can I convince my wife to just eat ramen for multiple days straight to
To play
justify
Mario
that?
Tennis Fever.
Right, I don't
No,
think
for
that
sure.
she's gonna buy into that as much as me.
Yeah.
But I hear you there, Patrick. I hear you there. Um, are you ready, Patrick,
I'm ready.
for you to also add a new game to your download list?
I am, in fact. Oh no. What is this?
I'm about to say some fucked up shit, Patrick.
Oh?
Okay, so just get
Okay.
ready to mute me if you need to.
Okay.
Blumhouse Games has dropped a game I'm genuinely impressed by.
What is it?
It's called Crisol. Uh Crisol Theater of Idols. And you've almost undoubtedly have seen the logo somewhere before.
I don't know that I have.
Um I highly recommend pulling this up if we can
I'm
for
about
for at
to.
least the viewers at home.
Is it
Crisol,
okay, I found it. Crisol. Theater of
yes,
Idols.
Crisol Theater of Idols is it is as imagine BioShock by way of Bloodborne,
Okay.
also with major vibes of Herschel Gordon Lewis's or H.P. Lovecraft's Dagon film from the 90s, which I'm like incredibly partial to.
Okay.
It is a double A indie game
Okay.
in which it's a first person horror game, and it is horror survival with a capital S. Um, you wash up on the shore of an island in which you are being talked to by a god called Sol,
Okay.
and he's the sun god, and you are a worshiper of his, and you've been sent to this island to stop the sea god from escaping its cathedral.
Okay.
And very early on into the game, you have to make a pact with the soul god in which you get his blood. And what that does is it transform your weapons into blood guns. But here's the thing, there's no ammo in this game. It's your health.
Huh.
So the survival mechanic is you're actually playing the game trying to basically maintain your ammo count, which is also your health count, and also like the enemies like pack a fucking wallop too. So it's I mean it's tough, but it's incredibly unique, and like everything about like it feels very BioShock by the way of like how all of this stuff is delivered. Um, Artistically, it looks like Bloodborne. Highly recommend playing it in Spanish as it's intended as well, because the
Okay.
Spanish voice acting is significantly better than the English voice acting. It is just I've passed through the prologue and about halfway through chapter one,
Okay.
and from what I've read online, basically was told like if you can make it through chapter one, the game gets infinitely better because you get like more weapons and the more like you get shotguns and sniper rifles and like all of them obviously counting for different levels of blood that you have to take,
Sure.
like from your health to like balance. Spooky as fuck too. Like it is legit like some good jump scares already and
It looked
fucking cool.
fucking cool.
It's fucking cool. It's a little I don't love the handling of the guns, but apparently that's a thing that like is story built in
Okay.
why to
Okay.
some degree. The story itself like it starts off really stupid where it's like you just show up on this island. It's kind of very double A feeling on like how it's all presented to you. But then something like clicks at a certain point where you're like I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but like I really am interested in to see like where this goes from here,
Yeah.
especially when you have like a Spanish priest that's like talking at you and like making you feel like it's just there's a vibe to it
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Spanish horror vibe that like I think like I've only really experienced in two separate ways. Like I feel like that gothic element from Lies of P and
Sure.
a little bit of the castle levels or like the levels where you're more I'm trying to think of the best way to explain that. Like Resident Evil 4 when you get into like the
Mm.
castle side of
Mm-hmm.
things and you're like the villages next to it. I feel like a little bit of this in this game. And here's the thing, and this is why I think you're going to add it to your list,
Okay.
Patrick. It is 17.99.
That's what Coal Mines was saying in the chat just now, and that I was surprised at how good it looked fidelity wise. Like it looked really
Yeah.
clean and
I think
well
it's running on
produced.
Unreal Engine 5
Okay.
maybe, and I think that's why.
Okay.
So the price point is this is going to be a certified dumpster dive in the future. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that. The blood mechanic, the bullet mechanic with the blood, that is I think the most interesting thing about the game up to this point.
Yeah.
But from my understanding, the game only gets better from here and it gets weirder and more there's barely like some Weapon X levels or stuff where like or Mr. X where
Ah,
like you're
that Weapon
getting
X
yeah,
adamantium.
that'd be cool. Where like you get stalked through by like a giant robot mommy and like
Okay.
weird shit like that. So I don't know where it's going. And apparently it's not super long, like 5 hours roughly.
Okay.
There's a speedrun trophy to beat it in three. So
Mm.
like,
You're
I
gonna
don't
try.
know. I'm excited to see, but yeah, maybe we'll see how hard it gets.
You're gonna try.
Um, but I definitely think feels like a big Patrick game to
Okay.
me.
I mean, it looked really good. I do
Because
think I will get this.
I think the price point and then I think just the horror aspect of it that I think you will vibe with for this specifically because I think it feels at least right now like a perfect level of survival horror where it's just actiony enough to make me feel like I have agency, but
Sure.
also a good enough scare where I'm like, okay, like we're gonna be playing shit tight for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Did this just come out?
Yes, like it
Yeah.
came out I think
A
within the
week ago.
last few weeks. Week ago, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Blumhouse
Okay.
Games. Never thought I would say
Crisol,
that.
Theater of
Crisol.
Idols.
Yeah.
Earlier in the chat, Jake Twitch said, me gusta Dios Sol, which tickled me. Also, welcome in Noah. He said, POV, I tried getting millions of sea gods, little sea men on my face. But I do want to bring in High Score Weekly from the chat. At first
Yeah.
got this confused with a game. And I want to
Hmm.
know what this other game is. He thought that you were saying this was a Splatoon blood game where you can like swim through the blood, like you can swim through the paint in
Whoa, that's
Splatoon. I'm
cool.
like, what game is that? Let's
That's
figure
fucking
that
dope.
game out.
Yeah.
And then also welcome in Kayla Gray and Gianni, and also shout out Heroic Gear for the sub. But then High Score Weekly asks, is it difficult like
Mhm.
Doom, Cayman?
Um, that's an interesting question. It feels more like almost like a Souls game, I would say, to some degree, because there's a parry mechanic with your knife where you can use your knife to parry. Um, so I do believe that it's more Souls-like in a sense. I don't think it's like Doom in which like there's a shit ton of enemies. And so you're constantly running around. Like this is very like methodical. Like you are approached by like a hand like 1 to 3 enemies at a time. Now that could get even more intense as you get later in the game where they might throw more at you, but it doesn't feel like the corridors are too cramped for this to feel like an arena shooter. So I think it's difficult in a different way.
Yeah.
Um so don't think boomer shooter. Really think I'm not kidding when I say it's like really think like Resident Evil. Much more like Resident Evil. Maybe even more like which one was the Amnesia, the third Amnesia game, the Bunker?
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
closer to the Bunker. Maybe not as like survival-y. I think maybe a little bit more agency there, but well, the Bunker you have a gun. So like you can use a gun
Yeah.
in the Bunker. So
I am gonna play this game. I am sold on this game for sure.
yeah. I think especially one, I think the price point and the length of the game, I think that's the best part here.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
like we can
apparently
knock it out a weekend, you know?
apparently Madeline Stanley, friend of Drop and Drop Out, preview this on Kind of Funny. How about that? Had no idea. I must have missed
Nice.
that episode. High School Weekly says the game with Splatoon, the Splatoon blood.
Hmm.
Splatoon. There's something there, but my brain isn't working.
Hmm.
It's called Blood Vial. Your health is draining, and as you
Blood
shoot people
vial.
and spill their blood, it puddles, and you swim in it to regenerate. How about that? And then
Looking
Kayla
this up.
asks, before we move on to the other game that I've been playing,
Yeah.
are either of you going to try Reanimal? Patrick, I think you would like it for sure. I am. I played the demo. I very, very briefly talked about this last week on Spotlight. I played the demo for about 10 minutes and stopped because I was like, I'm going to play this game. I just haven't yet. But I hear you guys are liking it based on your episode last night on JK Games. Are you going to pick up Reanimal, you think, Cayman?
Remind me again, is Reanimal co-op?
It can be. It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
But it is the
Is it
Tarsier Studios
couch?
Little Nightmares
Right.
new
Is it
game.
couch co-op only?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. You can do.
That might sway me
Yeah.
to pick it up.
Yeah.
That might sway me to pick it up
You can also do
because the
cross-platform
idea
play
that
apparently, but some people have been having trouble. Like Gianni and the Nerdlies tried to do a stream and it failed. They had a great time. It was a good stream, but they couldn't play much of the game together.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, I think that this is B1. I think if I could find someone to play it with, like, I think I would vibe out with this. I'm not sure if this is necessarily a game for me that I would just play hanging out by
Sure.
myself on the couch.
Yeah.
I played a bit of Little Nightmares, and it just didn't really click with me.
Yeah.
So I worry that Reanimal is going to be the same. That's why I think having another
It
person
feels very
there will
similar
be
so far, but it does
right.
feel so far. This might sound crazy with only 10 minutes of time, but so far, just like aesthetically, I am so much more interested in Reanimal than I ever was in Little Nightmare. Even though I liked Little Nightmare's aesthetic, there's something about this world that already feels so much spookier to me than Little Nightmares ever did.
Right.
And then
Well, this is
the
supposed to be
reviews
more
are saying that
horror
it feels a lot better than Little Nightmares, and
Right.
Gianni's saying it feels way slicker, and it's a more mature vibes for sure. So
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't mind the aesthetics of Little Nightmare. I think more so just like mechanically,
yeah,
it felt lacking in a sense of like there was an urgency there in certain moments that I felt, but like overall, it just felt clumsy to navigate, and I think that's what turned me off.
Yeah. Kayla says it's more robust.
Okay.
Any
Define robust and make it in terms I know, like Patrick's big old booty.
big old booty.
Big old booty.
Noah says, I'm playing a game none of you have heard of called Forgotlings. Dropped today. No stream reviews at all, unfortunately. Very cool gauge. Cool, very cool game. Patrick should check out. Forgotlings.
Forgotlings.
How about that? Let's do a quick little.
Oh my god, is it gonna be a D's nuts joke
I
again?
swear to
Man,
God, if it's
we
a D's
get
nuts. This
we
is
get
the
so many D's
Forgotlings
nuts jokes here.
launch trailer. Oh, I like the
Goblins.
art style
Okay.
already.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. The tummy nose.
You
Oh, it
know I
looks
love a tummy nose.
very Studio Ghibli.
It does. Father was
Uh-oh,
right.
is this a side-scrolling Metroidvania?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Let's add this to the wish list. Forgotlings.
Forgotlings.
Kayla says, okay, no, with the indie pool. Bible looking game,
All
my
right.
ass.
Bible-looking game. Shit.
How about this, Cayman? What do you think about this
Yeah.
as a concept?
Hit me.
If in, I don't know, a month and a half,
Yeah.
if by April, neither of us
Yeah.
have played Reanimal,
Mhm.
when the game is still really relevant in April, what do you think about doing a stream with you and me?
Hell yeah. I think we would have fun doing. We've never done a co-op
We've
stream
never done a
together.
co-op stream together. That could be fun.
That could be fun. That could be fun. You know what? Honestly, easy setup to do it to now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can do it.
Noah says he sent that game to me yesterday, or he sent it to Cog maybe. I was like, I don't think you sent that to me, but I also I'm sometimes bad at seeing things. My old eyes, you see.
These old eyes.
Really quickly, I do want to mention I've been playing another game, Cayman, and
God.
here's the thing.
Still Fable 3.
No, I'm done with Fable until the new Fable. I've decided. I've put my foot down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But because we're doing the Resident Evil retrospective this week over on Drop In Drop Out, I have had the Resident Evil 1 remake on my Switch for years now. And I was just like scrolling around. I think it was Sunday night, maybe. Just like scrolling around. I like that Sunday night is when it's solidified. I'm kind of over Mario Tennis Fever. And I was like, but I want to play something. And Dragon Quest 7, I'm enjoying, but I lost so much steam on that game after getting through the demo again.
It only gets better. It only gets better.
I'm sure it does. But for some reason, it just isn't sticking with me. And I think, honestly, in a weird roundabout way, going through the demo again and skipping every piece of dialogue and auto battling, now I'm getting to these points where I'm like, I feel like I should just be skipping this dialogue and auto battling. And then it's like, well, then why am I playing this game at this point? But I will get back to it. I just I'm having some troubles with it. But I'm like 2 hours into Resident Evil 1 on my Switch, and I am having so much fun with.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I am. I have always historically really liked the original Resident Evil, and I do wonder why we are not getting that one remade. Like, I guess part of it is because this remake that was originally released on the GameCube in like 2005 or whatever, holds up surprisingly well. There are a couple little quirks with it still where like there's no auto saving, like that kind of thing. And it has the tank controls, but like visually, I am shocked at how good that game still looks because of the way they did the remake on the GameCube. Just like all of the environments look really good and clean, and I'm having a great time with it so far.
Let me tell you, Patrick.
Yeah.
It's rare that I tell you you have wrong opinions.
Are you about to tell me Resident Evil's bad?
I'm going to tell you Resident Evil 1 Remake is not the correct way to play that game. The correct way to play that game is actually Resident Evil 1, whatever. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It might just be called Resident Evil, or it might be Resident Evil Chronicles
Okay.
on the Nintendo Wii. Okay. You think I'm joking when I say this, but it's an on-rail shooter that retells the story of Resident Evil 1, and that is the best version of Resident Evil 1. Like, I'm not even playing.
I
This isn't a
don't
bit.
I
This
don't
isn't a bit.
believe that, only because I still think the puzzles of the mansion so far hold up. And I'm having a very good time running back and forth in that mansion. And so I feel like if I'm only getting the story via an on-rail shooter, I don't know that I would like that. But Noah agrees with you.
It is the Umbrella Chronicles is the name.
As far as getting the plot, sure. Oh, I played Umbrella Chronicles on the Wii. I had that.
Okay. So that is your on-rail shooter.
Okay.
No, it's not Umbrella Chronicles. It's a different one.
It's a different one. I
No,
found
not Dark Side. What is it?
I found in my
It's not
storage
Umbrella
unit
Chronicles.
yesterday. I did a lot of chores yesterday, and I cleaned out one of my storage units and combined it with another storage unit I have because my life is a mess. And I found a tub of a bunch of those, like, you put all your discs in, like, the binders, whatever we call those. I forget what they're called. And I found one that was just games and CDs of mine. One of the, in fact, there was one page that, a CD binder. Thank you, Sir Shard. There was one page that made me laugh because it was on one side Sneak King, the Burger King video game, and on the other side was TI's King.
Fuck yeah.
So it was just like two King games, which made me laugh. But I found all my old Wii games, and, or not all of them, but a lot of them that I had. And I think Umbrella Chronicles might have been in there. So at some point, I'm going to break out the Wii and do some Wii streaming for sure. I just need to have more space.
I'm struggling trying to find the title of it. I don't think it's just Resident Evil. Like, I think it's Resident Evil, and there's something. It's an on-rail shooter that retells the story of the first game, but like it mechanically plays super well.
Yeah.
And like the snake boss fight is like
yeah.
immaculate in this game. Like, it is one of the best examples of like an on-rail shooter done right. I love that you're enjoying it. Now I want to figure out how we can get you to do a stream of that on the Wii.
I'm all in. I haven't gotten to any boss fights yet on the remake, and I am afraid because so far some of the tank controls have certainly gotten my way a couple times already. But despite that, I'm having fun. But I do worry about the boss fights. But I did start this game on easy mode. So I was like, you know what? I'm just doing this to have fun. I don't need to be challenged here because the controls are already going to be a challenge. And so I'm hoping that that will translate to the boss fights, because sometimes you can kill a zombie in like one shot, which is great. Noah says Archives Classic. Is it either of those?
It might be Archives.
Archives sounds familiar to me. But
I'm looking it up. I'm trying to find it right now. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. Let's keep the ball rolling. We're digressing too much. I'm sorry.
No. Here's the thing. My favorite spotlight conversations is when we digress. When we put our full digression into a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But it is time to discuss some news. Cayman, we have a couple news stories today, and we're going to start with one that isn't as fun, but I'm glad Noah is here because Noah is a knower, pun intended. And this, I'm combining two stories. So both from VGC, Video Games News Chronicle, Video Games Chronicle. Yeah, Video Games Chronicle. Whatever. Fuck you. Stop listening to the podcast. Go do something else. Steam Deck is out of stock in the US as Valve warns of intermittent memory and storage shortages. And also, the PlayStation 6 has supposedly internally been delayed by 1 or 2 years. So, the first story, Steam
Mm.
Deck is. Oh, hold on. I lost everybody. Steam Deck is currently out of stock on the Steam store, as Valve warns it may be a regular occurrence. Users have been reporting at various times over the past couple of weeks that the US Steam store often shows all Steam Deck models as sold out, and that while they do sometimes become available for sale again, the sold out signs are showing far more frequently than usual. Valve has posted a notice on the Steam store information players on the Steam store informing players the Steam Deck availability may continue to fluctuate due to the ongoing issue with memory costs. Earlier this month, Valve, which we talked about on this show, that they confirmed they're delaying the announcing of price and release date of their Steam machine and frame because of these rapidly increasing prices. But then it kind of goes on to say like the entire tech industry kind of hanging in the balance right now because of this. Like Apple is being affected, Tesla's being affected, and then of course also mentioning earlier that the day before, Bloomberg posted a report that PlayStation pushing to 28 or 29 for the PlayStation 6. And, obviously no idea what that's going to cost, primarily because of the availability of these chips, which they are now calling Ramageddon, is the name that people have come up with that are
I
reporting
mean,
on
it's
this.
all going to AI.
Yeah, right.
And
Exactly.
so it's such an interesting trade-off because it's all the tech industry cannibalizing themselves of being like, oh, well, we want like Sony is a great example of this, of Sony being like, we're gonna give you AI that's gonna play your games for you. And like also you'll not be able to actually get the console to let the AI play the game for you because we don't have RAM for it. Because we need that RAM to make the AI, and it's just like a fucking it's an Ouroboros, Patrick.
Ooh, little
An
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros.
Speaking of Resident Evil.
Uh taking it's just, that snake is eating its own tail right now.
Yeah.
And that I think is the tech industry. And so I think if we're ever going to see a slowdown in the rampant rise of AI, it's because tech comes in and is like, guys, we still need this shit to do other things that are like the money isn't in AI quite like the way that I think the market is trying to act like it is.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to at a certain point you're gonna have to commoditize AI. And I mean, they already kind of are like a subscription service for like Chat Jippity and like
Not
all this other,
Jiffy.
all this fucking like, all these companies are, getting subscription services and stuff
Right.
for this stuff. So like there is a money, they're making money to some degree, but at a certain point, they're not going to be making nearly as much money as what they're claiming or what they believe that they will. And that will drop the price and the stock
Yeah.
of AI, and then that's what's going to crash the bubble, and then that's when things will regulate. I just worry that will be too far gone
Man,
for it to even matter.
me too. Like it's starting to seem to me as a fucking certified idiot, but I follow certain things and I have a pretty good understanding of how AI is going because of my job and just following, especially in the game space. But I don't see a path forward at the moment in
Mm,
which it just doesn't fucking crumble because things are just becoming far too expensive, far too fast for things that we want to enjoy for fun. So it's like, okay, when
right.
does that start weaseling its way into cars, into storefronts, into hospitals, into like,
It
all these
already is.
things? Right. It's like, so at some point, it's just gonna, the only fucking trickle
Let me tell
down that
you
we're gonna be getting is like triple fucked into the ass by all these prices.
let me tell you a story, Patrick. My local Checkers,
Yeah.
when you drive up to the drive-through at the local Checkers, it is an AI chat bot.
Jesus Christ.
I live in the middle of the mountains in bumfuck nowhere, and our Checkers has an AI chat bot. And then when you pull up, it's one lonely person standing inside of Checkers, essentially just getting the food that you ordered through this AI, this robot, and then
Yeah.
they're the ones. And it's just such a dystopian feeling
Yeah.
of being like, is if they can get to a point where they have that automated enough to be able to like pull the food and do all the shit in real time, then like that checkers, there will no longer be a human body standing inside of that
And it's like,
building. Yeah.
it drives me fucking nuts when this promise of AI that all these companies are trying to shove down our throats, the reality is that it's just taking minimum wage jobs. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels fucking crazy to me that a fast food joint isn't even having someone take your order anymore. So it's like,
Mm.
man, I do not see this going well, and I think it's going to really fuck us so hard. Uh,
Yeah.
More than just the places that we are trying to enjoy our lives, the very small amount that we fucking can. Um, but it's like, yeah, I worry that I said to Rose earlier, I was like, man, we need to replace our phones because they're a couple years old or whatever. It's like if these chips are gonna start making everything go up, it's like there's no point. These phones are already too fucking expensive. I don't want
Right.
to end up not being able to replace something that I need in my everyday life because it's so fucking expensive. You know what I mean? And so it's like
100%
it's
agree.
just such a fucking bummer. Um, and I'm very interested to see where this does end up landing in gaming. Like, does PlayStation even push further than 2029 to see if like the market can flatten out? Because if it does end
Here's
up crashing, then it's like it doesn't, people aren't going to be releasing new hardware if the market is fucking crashed.
here's the thing that actually like part of me is a little selfish over that, I suppose, of being like I kind of am in a place where I'm okay that the PlayStation 6 isn't going to get announced until 2028.
Sure.
Like, what the I don't think that we've maximized the PlayStation 5. The amount of return that we're getting each console cycle is getting so much slimmer.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
So like if the only bonus and benefit of the PlayStation 6 is it's going to be AI powered, then like I'm cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Like you're going to make games what a little shinier. I don't like where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Like I get that like you can show me like a PC and a PC and I've stood by this I think and we've talked about this probably since the inception of Spotlight. Where I've said and I've stood by the fact that like at a certain point we need to as a community we need to recognize that like the more realistic things get, the worse this is going to get for us too.
Sure.
Because then we're now going to start getting in regulations and shit that are going to be because people do what people do, and that is they're going to push it to the limit, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, here's Grand Theft Auto is going to be hyper realistic, and I promise you, once Grand Theft Auto gets hyper realistic, then like we will no longer have video games. The
Sure.
government won't let us have access to fucking pornography anymore. Do you think they're gonna let you have a violent simulator?
Sure.
Get the fuck out of here. No, they're just gonna give you a gun and tell you to shoot up a school instead. Like, they're gonna be more
That's a
literal
sound
about it.
bite.
Our government fucking sucks.
Correct. Uh High School Weekly actually was, I think it was in our chat kind of recently, and he had said something about us like approaching the end of the PS5 generation and how there's like still no games for the PS5. And I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, huh, that doesn't sound right. But then I thought about it, I was like, no, it's been almost 6 years since the PS5 came out, which historically that would mean next year would be PS6. And I was like, fuck, it really is the end of it should be the end of the cycle, which means we should be getting The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, like that, you know what I mean? Like those kinds of, I guess Uncharted 4 was kind of the beginning of the next cycle. But my point being, we are not getting these swan song type titles, and we aren't even fucking
Right.
close because how long it takes to release a game these days, we're at like year 2 or 3, what feels like, of previous cycles, because games take fucking 7, 8, 9 years to make now.
True.
So, and yeah,
Yeah.
I am yeah, Gianni was in the chat saying like, for the first time ever, I'm like, I am not in any rush for a new console. And I really am not either. Like last year I traded my PS5 for the Pro, and I'm like, I don't even really need that. Like that was me just engaging in retail therapy after my house was destroyed. Like, I'm not anywhere near needing another console either, because I still need games for this fucking thing that I need to justify spending
Correct.
$700 on. So
Correct.
yeah, and I worry that by the time we get to the swan song era of the PS5, it kind of won't matter anymore because
Have
of
you ever
the
just thought,
socio-economical state of the
right?
globe.
Have you ever thought about the absolute lunacy that is the fact that like we're getting one game per developer console generation? We're about to hit a point where Grand Theft Auto 6, the last Grand Theft Auto game came out originally on the PlayStation 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So that game was designed on PlayStation 3 hardware. It then got booted to be they, like, remastered to get it up to PlayStation 4 hardware.
Yeah.
Then we got another patch to make it PlayStation 5 worthy hardware. But the thing is I'm like, "Okay, well, if you're working on a game," let's say they started working on GTA 6 immediately after GTA 5, then they technically started working on GTA 6 with technology from the PlayStation 3.
That's a very good
How does
point.
How does that impact a developer who's like, we're having to learn how to make something for the third, like 3
Yeah,
generations later, we're now having to
sure.
make a game on that hardware, you know?
That is kind of fucking crazy when you put it that way.
So I think like it's just insane shit. Like Witcher 4 is another great example. Like Witcher 3 came out on the PlayStation 3. So like
Sure. Yeah,
wait, is
yeah.
PlayStation it did, yeah. So just
Or
think
no, no,
about
no, no.
the
That was because that was
no, just
2015. So that was
PlayStation
PS4.
4, right.
Yeah, that was PS4.
So, but the thing is, though, it came out early though in the PlayStation 4's life
Yeah.
cycle. So, okay, so early
Year 2
PlayStation 4
maybe.
life cycle, yeah. Witcher 3, Witcher 4 is going to be launching. I would be shocked if it comes on the PlayStation 5. So, PlayStation 6. So, there's
Sure.
a very good chance that they're starting like there's just changed engines, had to change engines, forced into it.
But then here's a question. So with that in mind, so this idea of, because of how long some games take to make, some of like you were saying with GTA, kind of in theory, GTA 6 was like around when PS3 when the cell processor was still being used by Sony.
Right.
Now we're getting games announced, quote unquote, for the PS6. Like a Witcher 4. I think we all kind of assume
Elder
Intergalactic would be
Scrolls
a Elder
or
Scrolls.
Fallout.
But then it's like, do these companies pivot? Because like Sears was saying in the chat earlier, they're kind of just saying that the PS6 is essentially going to be just like a stronger PS5 Pro. Do these games end up just coming out on PS5? Because it's taking that
Maybe
long to
so.
get to PS6 that they're just like, all right, Intergalactic definitely going to be a PS5 game instead of a launch game for PS6, which is what we all assumed when they showed it at the Game Awards, or Elder Scrolls 6, or Physint from
Okay.
Kojima, Witcher 4. I don't know.
Great great point from High Score Weekly. He says in the chat, they don't really change engines. This is a current debate with the last part of Final Fantasy VII because people ask them to use Unreal Engine 5, but it's not possible because the pipeline is locked in a custom build of Unreal Engine 4, and it would be like starting over, which
Sure,
is correct. I mean, that's the thing. So, like, some of these games aren't even going to be able to take advantage of the hardware
sure.
because they're so far in development that there's no fucking way for them to not keep going in the direction they're moving. We are so absolutely totally fucked.
Yeah. But Chocolate de Mongoose makes a good point. It sounds like we're going to be getting more remakes to keep these studios afloat while we wait for next gen. Which brings me to my point from earlier. Remake Resident Evil 1, please. That'll keep me held over for a couple weeks. And then, by the time that's out and done, then PS6 will be right around the corner. It'll be fine. Siri says it makes sense, at least for PlayStation, their current push for more dynamic quality settings in games that will scale higher to new hardware or lower to the rumored handheld. True. That is a good point. and then yeah, it's like then that what that makes me think of is how much console gaming is just PC gaming now, where it's like needing to build these games to just make sense for so many different SKUs essentially. But in that case, it's like performance, but it's like the
Well,
Xbox
and I
Series S of
think
it all, right?
right, but also I think even to that point, I think Sony's in a much better place than Microsoft is because I think the truth is the way that like Sony's designing their hardware um is just it's a different breed. Like it's Sony's designing their hardware for you to be able to have multiple SKUs. Things are just enhancing slightly, you know? Whereas I believe like Microsoft on the other hand, like the Xbox Series S was just a legitimate downgrade from a system like. And so structurally it could not process and still will not be able to process certain games. So like, I think that's a big thing here. So I think Sony's in a little bit better place just how they're structuring. Um yeah, man, I don't know. I text my wife and I was like, my end of year bonus drops here soon. At the end of the month, the end of year bonus kicks. And I text my wife and I was like, if we're gonna get a Switch 2, we have to do it immediately. Because that's the truth. You are muted, Patrick, or I can't hear you.
No, I muted myself. My computer's being
Okay.
fucking crazy right now. Keep going.
Nah, I love it. But yeah, I told her I text her and I was like, or we're not gonna be able to afford it.
Yeah, no,
Like,
because it's gonna
we
go up
won't
on price.
like, they're gonna just shoot up the price and be like, "Well, we can't afford to keep selling it like this because of all the memory RAM and all this shit.
Yeah.
So, like, we just need to bite the bullet and go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and get it done because I wanna fucking play Pokemon Pokopia."
Oh god, it looks so fucking good. Oh my god, I'm so excited for Pokopia.
Dude, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, we also don't have a car still. Where we've been borrowing a car, so I'm like, fuck, I need to buy a car. I might as well get a fucking TV because I haven't got a TV in a while, and those are just gonna get more expensive. But I'm like, where's this money coming from?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very thankful that we put the money towards the theater last year. Just in the money being just getting a TV to put down
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'm just glad that we did that when we did, because you know.
Noah says car or Pokopia, tough choice. Easy choice. I
Easy
choose my
choice.
Ditto Daddy.
Do you think I can drive? I don't need to drive.
That's so
I
true.
can't medically
If
technically
Cayman,
drive,
if
so
Cayman can get around not being able to drive, I can get around not being able to drive. Come
hell yeah,
on.
you can.
Hell yeah, I can.
Come on.
Come on. Okay, next up, we have a little bit of better news following that story. Crimson Desert came in. Turns out
Yes.
there's going to be no microtransactions in this game, at least at launch. I am pulling from. God damn it, this fucking camera! I am pulling from Anthony McGlynn at Games Radar. We're inching closer and closer to the release of Crimson Desert, the ambitious new fantasy action RPG from Pearl Abyss. And the devs have confirmed there won't be any endgame marketplace using real money at launch. The game's price tag is the only fee players will need to make in order to enjoy the world of Pywell. I don't expect I'm saying that correctly. Will Powers, the PR and marketing director at Pearl Abyss, made this confirmation during an episode of Dropped Frames. This is made to be a premium experience that you buy and enjoy the world and not something for microtransactions, he tells the podcast hosts. He then clarifies the not significant price is the trade off here. Quote, it's a monetization model. If you do free to play, then you need to make up for the revenue in a different way. This is a premium experience. That is the transaction, like full stop, which is, I'm very glad to hear because a game like this, I just assume that they're going to try to charge me at any given point. And like, this is the kind of game where, I mean, we've talked about it on this show before and like in reactions and stuff. Like this game from the first time they showed it has looked too good to be true. And like, it just,
Right.
I've kind of, because I've been burned by so many games before, I've just always kind of expected that this game is too good to be true and that it won't hit. But then I keep seeing it and I keep seeing it and it just keeps looking as fucking good as it does. And Noah in the chat saying, gonna win Goaty and everyone will be shocked by it. I think this has a strong chance if this is actually going to
Yeah.
deliver the way that this game is looking, because It looks fucking unreal, Cayman.
I it, okay. Here's the thing. I I gen- I genuinely have a chance to just have the biggest fucking blowout in Fantasy Critic of all time. Because Mugenics is with like 19 points right now, like at an 89, I believe.
Hmm.
If this game is as good as it looks, and the previews are coming in being like, this game is as good as it looks,
Yeah.
which is mind blowing. My one worry is that they're like, oh, the world's lifeless and dead because it's so big. And that might be the big thing there of like worry for me at least. But this and I also have GTA 6. So like just Mugenics, GTA 6 and this will give me more points potentially than what I got last year.
It's very
So
possible.
like, you know, because none of my games came out. That's why I didn't pick
Sure.
shit games. None of well, only one shit game. Fucking Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. I
Fucking
had a lot of fucking
vampire.
faith in that game. This is not that situation. But I think the big thing here is about the way that they approach this of saying this is a premium. You're paying a premium to play this game. So why the fuck would we load you up with a bunch of nonsense? Like, sure, there might be more content we give you down the line, but like, you paid to have this game.
Yeah.
And I think that goodwill alone is gonna do numbers
Yeah.
of just like because I think if you look at and we just walked off talking about how the games industry is becoming like untenable, you have a developer coming out being like, we read the room,
Yeah. Right.
like we know what people want. And like this is a respect thing. So one of the big things that people are also saying was that Black Desert, which is their first game, was just absolutely riddled with microtransactions.
Yeah.
But it was an MMO. It's so like people were like, oh, and so when a lot of people are like, that's what's gonna happen with this one too. Everything's gonna be locked behind a paywall. And then they came out and were like, nothing will be locked behind a paywall because you guys are paying for it.
Yeah.
I'm upfront. It's just like a big goodwill moment for the community that I think could rally like a huge boon
I
of
agree.
goodwill from the community to get this thing off the dock.
And it's right around the corner. It's March 19th this game is coming, which I kind of can't
Yeah.
believe. Like I think because I like what I was saying at the start of like I kind of felt like this game was going to be too good to be true. I just kind of stopped really paying attention to it. And so I didn't realize that the release date was so soon for this game. And so
Dude.
now I'm like
Okay.
fucking so jacked for this.
If you didn't watch the last developer like they did like a developer gameplay showcase where they like walk through like different things that you can do in the game and like certain aspects of like just the game itself. And I'm like looking at this being like I'm getting huge Dragon's Dogma vibes. Like huge Dragon's Dogma vibes of just like
Agreed.
the way you can play the game at whatever way you want, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like it's got very like and so and you're listening to them like talk about this game and the confidence that they're talking about it is feels very like confidence in a way that's not like none of it's like walking around like boasting about like you're gonna have this is the quadruple A game,
Sure.
none shit like that, but being like we made a game for gamers because we're gamers, like is what it reads.
Yeah.
Listening to them talk about the game of being like, we know you want to ride dragons, so you're gonna ride dragons.
Here are dragons.
And it's like this is what the only reason that Fast and the Furious is still popular is because some dipshit went to Reddit and was like, they want to go to space. They want us to go to space. We got to go to space now.
And then they
And
went
they
to
were like
space.
listening. So if you can do that and you can handle it well and drop that, then like I think we've got a potential banger on our hands.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm obviously I don't know if I'm 100% sold that it's gonna be the greatest thing of all time. I'm
Sure.
a little terrified actually. I think which is fair, but I'm also a little terrified that Resident Evil 9 is not gonna be good either. So like,
Sure. I feel like for
you know,
both of those games, to bring that into one conversation, I feel like both of them I'm expecting mid 80s at least. And I
right.
feel like so because of that, I would take low 80s. Like I will buy both of these games if they're in the low 80s. I feel like the only
Yeah.
reason that I would be like, man, they really fucked it is if they're in the 70s. which I would still probably
Yeah.
play, just maybe not day one. I will play Resident Evil day one regardless, but yeah, I don't know. I think this could be a 90 something for sure. And I'm gonna go watch that 15-minute
Yeah.
developer
I think
in thing
you'll
after this.
I think your hype level is going to increase significantly.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Cayman, let's close out the show with a
Let's do it.
little news spotlight. A bit of a short one today.
News spotlight.
But for those of you in the chat that didn't realize that this just happened, Nintendo's Virtual Boy is now available. And if you're getting it, let me know what you think, because I'm not going to, even though spending $100 on VR peripheral for the Switch sounds like something I would do. I'm not going to do this. But it's going to start with 7 games to launch. High School Weekly didn't get it. I'm shocked by this. This feels like a High Score Weekly day one if I've ever heard of it, but alas. And going back to Resident Evil, Coal Mine says, speaking of RE9, some people already have copies. Beware of spoilers. Very good shit. Thank you. French Dip joining us. Welcome in, French Dip. Virtual Boy was my nickname in high school. It was very good. Some sad news. Hideki Sato, the designer of all the Sega consoles, passed away. Very sad. An OG legend, as it were. Rest in peace to Hideki-san. State of play from last week came in. What'd you think? We talked about it on Drop and Drop Out, but you didn't get to share your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it was better than you guys did. That's for certain.
Yeah.
I gave it a B plus. I think just like last year's state of play, I think that we will look back at this with like 2020 vision or hindsight vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hindsight
We're gonna
vision.
look back at this and we're gonna be like, you know what? We were way too critical about that. They actually announced a bunch of games that were really cool and showcases of games that were really cool. And to your point, yes, a lot of stuff we'd already seen before. But also I think there was some other stuff that they dropped in there that was just like a nice little addition. Yeah, I think a B plus.
Nice.
Maybe a B. Maybe a solid B. If I'll meet you there, but no lower than a B.
Noah claims that we were piss babies about the state of play. And to that I say, fuck you.
Thanks, Noah. It's correct.
Dice Awards happened last week. We can burn through this really fast because, who wants to talk about 2025 anymore? But Claire Obscure, the clear winner with 5 awards, including Game of the Year and Outstanding Achievement in Game Direction. But also My Sweet Blueprints got Outstanding Achievement in Game Design and Outstanding Achievement for an Independent Game, which we love. Shout out Blueprints. But there were some surprises. Like I saw The Alters got some love, which I guess in that category, maybe The Alters was kind of winning in a fair amount of places. But Lego Party also got some love, which was fun to see. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. So shout out to the Dice Awards if you didn't see that and you want to go recap what that award show awarded. Silent Hill reveal was sick too, Gianni, from the State of Play. Very good. Very true. Speaking of Sega, from a few stories ago, they plan to release 4 major titles for mainstay IPs by the end of March 2027. You remember they showed us that like all these games are coming back, like fucking Crazy Taxi, which we haven't heard from all of those games since then. So I wonder how many of these are that. So they announced
Right.
Virtua Fighter, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Jet Set Radio, and Streets of Rage. But then also Alien Isolation 2 is coming, which is probably going to be one of the 4 games that they talk about. And I bet a Sonic will be one of those 4 games because we've not had a big Sonic in a minute. But I'm ready for Crazy Taxi, Cayman. I'm ready to play Crazy Taxi for 2 hours once. I'm very ready for that.
I love that I'm so hesitant when I'm spending money on games.
Sure.
Like I put so much time, energy, and research into like my next play. And then we get on the podcast and you're like, so I bought 7 games and I put 2 hours into each of them. And Rose is in the background ripping her hair out.
Yeah. And I will not have any sort of retirement because I keep spending all my money. But hey,
honestly, good for you though, because you're happy doing it. So you could also just not have a. Well, here's the thing: you won't have a retirement anyway, because we will all be killed by AI within the next 5 years.
So true. So true. From Software, their owner Steve From reiterated that Dust Bloods is still coming this year, exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2. To which I say, no, 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 I don't think so. I'll see you next year, From Software. But
Oh,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
think it's coming out this year?
No, probably not. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be. It could still come out this year. What's the last thing that From did? Actually, maybe it does make sense.
Armor Core.
And the they did
Well,
Night
no, I
Rain.
think no, yeah, that's fair. Night Rain and then Shadow of the Erd Tree and then Armor Core, like
Yeah,
all
it's
those
probably
drop
this
like
year.
year.
No,
Yeah,
they're yeah, it's probably
makes
this year.
sense. They can
Um,
pump those fucking games out, it feels like.
they're pumpers.
How many people, how many studios does From Software have?
They just
There's
opened a
no
new
way
one
it's
right
just
now.
one probably.
Yeah. Every time
It's just
you blink,
clones of Miyazaki.
correct.
Just he's cloning himself and popping them out. I love that he can't even beat his own games.
It's
Like
so
he
true.
was like, "Yeah, I'm too bad to even beat my own games." Is the funniest fucking thing in the world to me.
Um, Sierra says every game they release spawns a new one. That's true. It's very true. Noah confident that that game is also coming this year. So, all right, if Noah's confident,
Okay, question for you.
yeah,
Question for you, Patrick, and the audience. Um, do you think the next mainline game, like from an existing IP from, do you think it's going to be Dark Souls or do you think it's going to be Elden Ring? What do you think the next big mainline IP for? Or Bloodborne?
he
They
was
don't
talking about
technically
Bloodborne.
own Demon Souls, but Sony might try to get them to come back to do a Demon Souls 2. I mean, there's always a world in which that happens. Or Armored
Gianni
Core. What do you think
says
the next one?
new IP. Sierra says Armored Core. Colemine
So
says
we're not saying
From.
new IP. We're not saying new like not that the next game's gonna be a new IP. Like what's gonna be the next of their already existing IP that's gonna come out?
Would it be crazy to say Sekiro? Do you think they're done with Sekiro?
You know, I don't really know much about Sekiro's story for it
Yeah,
to be now. Not that I think it matters too much because like the Souls games have like very minuscule overarching connective tissue. It's mainly just like a singular weapon in Souls. But Sekiro seems like that's kind of like I think like a one existing story that like is wrapped up in that. I don't know, maybe
what
though.
about Shadows Die Thrice?
Ooh.
What about that? Think about that. I do think though, if they do like of those, I would be willing to bet it's Elden Ring again because Night Rain seems to be a success fiscally, but I don't know. I just Johnny thinking Dark Souls would be next if it's not a new IP. It certainly isn't going to be Bloodborne. I don't think, but it just doesn't feel like they've done enough with Elden Ring yet. When you consider that they did 3 Dark Souls and Demon Souls, which is the same thing basically, just a different name. Um, what do you think?
I think it's a good question that I ask. I think I ask a pretty good question. I don't think you're wrong with the Elden Ring. There's 100% an Elden Ring 2 in the works. No questions asked. 100%. I just don't necessarily know if that's going to be the next game that comes out that's from an existing IP. I don't think we'll see another Armor Core game in 10 years. Like Armor Core is not going to get the length between the last Armor Core or the Armor Core that just came out and the one before that. It was so long. Like I don't think we're gonna see another one anytime soon.
Yeah,
So I do think Elden Ring is probably one of the highest contenders, but also I wouldn't be shocked if we see them do some weird shit and it end up being something like Demon Souls.
that'd
Not
be. I
even
mean, Demon
Dark
Souls
Souls, but
2 would be
like
fun.
Demon Souls. Because let's be honest, like that's such a weird fucking thing
Sure.
that they would do. It's very on brand for Sony. And I think also that it's just really fucking funny this world in which we don't get Bloodborne 2 and we get a Demon Souls 2 and the Souls community just fucking kills themselves. just just fucking giving up entirely, like not
Sure.
doing this anymore. If you can't give me Bloodborne 2, just gonna like commit what is it? Seppuku,
Seppuku.
Hirikiri,
Harakiri.
Seppuku,
Seppuku.
Harakiri.
Harakiri.
Yeah, thank you.
Two different names for
I
it.
can do that.
I don't know
Yeah.
if the names mean different things or what, but
I'm not gonna make assumptions.
their next
So yeah,
game in an existing IP will be an IP that is not theirs, is what Noah says. Their next game
interesting.
in an existing IP will be, oh, I see. So it's like Uncharted 5 is, it's not like an IP that's not theirs, that they're licensed to do.
Oh, you think Souls is gonna like the FromSoft's gonna do an already existing, gonna take over an existing
What, like a Neo
IP?
4,
That's
perhaps?
clever. No, Ninja Theory's got their hooks in that. That's gonna stick.
Sure.
No, I don't know. That's a really good question. The shit they might. I mean, look, brought back fucking they might be
Like,
Kingsblade. Fucking bring back. Was it Kingsblade? Was their like first iteration of a Souls game? It was like a first person. It was like PlayStation 1 or play. I think it was played on the PlayStation 1.
I don't know.
But it was like a first person fantasy RPG that had, and people will be like, it's the first actual Souls game
Yeah.
because it has the Moonlight Blade, which is like the one piece of connective tissue that all Souls games have. Like first showed up, and that's Kingsfield. Maybe that's it. Kingsfield, Kingsblade,
I've
something.
never heard of
I
this.
could see
Whatever it
them
is.
doing. Hold on.
Johnny says, imagine a FromSoft Blade game. You think Steve From and John Soft could get their hands on the Blade IP when Arcane has it?
It's interesting.
That'd be pretty
Okay,
crazy.
it's Kingsfield.
Kingsfields. Never heard of it. Not a single time, actually.
Kingsfield.
What
Yeah.
about... High School Really says, my favorite FromSoft game is unironically Adventures of Cookie and Cream. I need to look into this. I don't know what the Adventures of Cookie and Cream
Someone
are.
pull this up. I have to see what Adventures of
I'm about
Cookie
to
and
pull it
Cream.
up. But I do also wonder if... Nope, it's gone. I was like, there was an IP I thought of that could be interesting from them as a Souls-like, but it's gone. Adventures of Cookie and Cream. PS2.
Oh
This
boy.
it's a fucking co-op
Of course it is.
or a multiplayer.
Oh wait, is it the bunny game?
It's a bunny. They're bunnies. Imagine Split Fiction on
Yeah,
PS2.
I know what this is.
Fuck. Will you be the cream to my cookie, Cayman?
Absolutely.
Will you be my cream?
Absolutely. I'll be both.
Good.
I'll be the oven, baby.
Yeah, you will. Shadows Die Thrice is my final answer, I think. You can play
Shadows
two
Die
player
Thrice. I like
using one controller is crazy, so you can touch hands. Who up creaming they cookie?
that. Oof.
Me.
Oof.
That's it. Cayman. How about that?
You know what? Good for us.
Good for us, honestly. The whole night is
Good
still
for
ahead
us.
of us.
The whole night's still ahead of us. We can still make ruin of things.
Maybe I'm gonna go try to emulate the Adventures of Cookies and Cream.
Please tell me how that goes.
I will, and I also won't. Folks, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will be back tomorrow night right here on the channel, twitch.tv/SpotlightGameSpot, around 8 Eastern-ish. Myself, Blaster Goblin, going to start playing Resident Evil 6, the Leon campaign co-op. And then tomorrow, 2 nights from now, Thursday, on twitch.tv/drop-in-drop-out-pod to talk about Resident Evil and the whole franchise with Blaster Goblin and me and Jerica and Kayla. Until then, we will see you on the next one, or we will see you on another time. Bye-bye.